Hello. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about red flags. Not the pop culture red flags, but from a therapeutic perspective. I think it is so amazing that as a culture, we're understanding toxic and narcissistic behaviors on a much more open level. We all know what narcissism is, what gaslighting is, what breadcrumbing is, and that's great. But if we don't understand it from a deeper perspective, we're trauma responding. I'm noticing so many people trauma responding of what they think are these behaviors, and they're not getting to know someone at a deeper level because they think that they're seeing these behaviors. So I want to clarify the difference between the way that we might confuse these things versus what they actually are. So, what I'm about to say about all these characteristics is that we are looking at how the person sees their world. We're looking at how their brain works, not from a perspective of something happened one time and we're sort of worried that this could be a red flag and then we're responding, but that we're seeing these things in different situations, in different environments, in different scenarios, on different topics, that we're seeing across the board. This is how the person sees the world. So that's the important thing to remember in all of these things. These are just big rules of thumbs and should not be taken literally in every situation. Okay, so the first is emotional dysregulation. So this means that the person's reactions doesn't fit what's happening in the moment. So the person's getting really reactive over something that you didn't necessarily mean to do, or something that seems pretty mundane, and they're making a pretty big deal out of it. And not only is it a big deal, but they're making you feel like you've done something wrong. Yeah, you're right. I totally should have known that you don't like to go get sushi on a Wednesday night because traffic is bad. Yeah, no, how could I not remember that you told me that weeks ago? And then you really begin to feel like you're the one that's crazy or wrong or not a good enough partner or not listening. And makes you feel badly about yourself because that's how they narrate what's happening. As opposed to if you were to say to a friend or a family member, hey, you want to get sushi? A normal response might be, oh, no, traffic is so bad on Wednesdays. I don't want to get sushi tonight. Whatever it is. So remember that if you're trying to feel a little crazy and the reactions don't necessarily meet the moment, that there might be something going on. Now, the flip side of normal behavior is that we all sort of sometimes feel insecure, frustrated, hurt, whatever, by these moments. And when we're getting to know someone, and all this is very scary, that people might be reactive, and not from an anger perspective, but I mean from an emotional perspective. And just because you don't know why doesn't mean that it's this. So remember that it's very normal to feel hurt by things or frustrated by things in normal human nature. But if they take it to this degree and then they make you feel like you're the crazy one and that you've done something wrong, then maybe that's a deeper issue. So the second one that I wanted to talk about is lack of value and lack of sense of self. So we are all human and we all get our value from the outside world to a certain degree, right? If we do something good for someone, we feel good. If we do something bad, then we feel bad. That's very normal because we like to see what our peers' reaction of us are. That's normal in human nature as we connect and disconnect. But somebody with deeper issues doesn't have a sense of self necessarily, and it comes all from the outside world. And it's not from an intuitive sense of self or other people. It's about taking in information from past experiences. If I do A plus B, then they're happy, and that makes me a good significant other. If I do C and D, then that makes them really upset, and they take in the information. So it's not that we don't all value other people's opinions, but somebody with a deeper issue might get pretty irate when you don't fit the A plus B equals C equation, because then you have done something that's against that ideal for them. So here's an example. Your partner takes you to a birthday dinner at a very fancy restaurant. And you get there and you're like, it's so beautiful, but I'm so full from lunch. I had such a big lunch. And then they become irate because you're supposed to be excited about what this great restaurant is. And you're supposed to dote on them about how amazing, wow, thank you so much. This place is so amazing. But you didn't fit the A plus B equals C equation. And now they're angry. Now, that is different than somebody feeling like, oh, I really wanted them to have this nice restaurant and I'm really sad and hurt. And like, they're not going to think I'm amazing because they didn't get to experience this amazing thing. That's different than somebody who is expecting A plus B equals C and then getting irate because of it. So just keep that in mind as an example. The third is people who are self-reflective versus people who are in the victim mentality. So if you're hearing stories and everything is about the other people and what they've done wrong, they do this to this person. Why is my family so crazy? Why are all my coworkers just not smart? They're all stupid. My ex is like totally insane. They're a narcissist. I just don't even know. Like I was doing my best, but they're just crazy. And if you're hearing that across the board, then that means that they are seeing the world in a way that they believe that everything is happening to them. And they're not going to be self-reflective. They're thinking that that's from everybody else. Now, we've all been heartbroken. We've all been, been through things. And it's okay if we talk about it in a way that is, well, it was really toxic and we just had to break up because it was bad. Whatever that is. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's a toxic behavior. It means we've been through some stuff, and that's normal. But if you're seeing this across the board in all situations and you're not seeing any self-reflectiveness and understanding of cause and effect, then there might be a deeper issue. The other side of this, the human side, is defensiveness. So I think a lot of people believe that defensiveness is a narcissistic quality, and it's not. It's human nature. So let's say that you are upset with somebody and they go, no, I did make that sushi reservation. You told me the other week that you really wanted sushi, and so I did it. And they're getting defensive. It doesn't mean that they're not self-reflective. It is human nature to want to defend ourselves so that the other person does not disconnect and detach from us. That's human nature. So a level of defensiveness is very normal, and we all do it to a certain degree. But if the person is only blaming the other party and not seeing, I know, maybe I should have told you that I was going to do the sushi, and they're not seeing their side of anything, then that might be a deeper issue. So remember that just because someone can get defensive, that's not necessarily a narcissistic behavior. But if somebody is always looking as a victim, then that might be something to note. So I hope that all of that was helpful. And again, take all of that with a grain of salt and look at each situation, but you'll begin to build an intuitiveness about how the person sees the world. And that's what we look at on a deeper level. I hope that was helpful. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye.